honestly think that the iPhone 14 Pro is amazing. I've had a crazy couple of weeks, but one thing that has stayed consistent is my love for this phone, but it's obviously not perfect. So I'm gonna be traveling a lot today and we're gonna put it through an intense, real day in life review. Also, this video is sponsored by the wonderful people over at CuriosityStream. More on that later. So I typically sleep in the same room as my phone, but I've been keeping the iPhone 14 Pro outside of the room since the new always-on display is a little bit too bright. When I'm actually using the phone, the fact that the display is now brighter this year as a max brightness of 2000 nits is awesome, but I feel like the always-on display function takes advantage of too many of those nits. Like, there's no variability between it, so at night it definitely lights up the room, and even during the day I find that I glance at my phone a lot more frequently, thinking that maybe I've gotten a notification, when in reality it's just that the always-on display is on. There is one big difference this year with the display from last year, and that is Dynamic Island, and we'll get to it because it's one of those things that I actually think has completely changed the way I use my phone, but then at the same time, if it disappeared, I would probably go back to not remembering what it was like when I had it. So more thoughts on that later, plus like how I actually use it in a real world scenario. There's another new feature this year called eSIM, which is number 2 on this list, which I don't think is incredible at all, and it was actually kind of a nightmare for me. When I set up this phone, Apple got rid of the physical SIM card tray, so it now only uses eSIM. And it was kind of a nightmare, to be honest. Like, I was at the store trying to transfer over my number to this phone, and the carrier guy literally said to me, "We're gonna figure this out together," which is not what you want to hear. And then by the end of it, I'd been there so long that he was like, "We're good friends now." Also not what you want to hear. Officially on the flight. I can't wait for you guys to see where we're going. Third new thing on this mini list is the Photonic engine, which has completely changed the way that iPhone is processing photos this year. And camera is like a huge feature to test, actually, because there's also some major sensor changes. But in terms of what Photonic engine is, the core thing that you just need to know is that it's basically changed the order of operations when it comes to processing a photo. And so now image processing happens prior to an image getting compressed, which actually gives the photo a little bit more detail. I think this is a really interesting move that Apple's decided to do. And in terms of how it translates to image quality, I definitely feel like the photos are sharper this year. But also, Apple went from a 12 megapixel camera to a 48 megapixel sensor, and so I feel like the hardware difference is probably the main thing driving this innovation. But I've noticed that the ultra-wide lens this year is struggling a little bit to grab focus. But outside of that, photos this year are excellent. They're sharp, the dynamic range is great, they're crisp, and I feel like the color tone consistency between a wide shot and zooming in is still best in class. Following this random group of people. Okay, arrived and through customs. I feel like this is probably the first time you guys are seeing me wear glasses, so that's a moment for us, leveling up the relationship. I'm waiting for my bag right now. I have no ability to pack light, as you guys know, so I had to check something. So I'm waiting for that. It is 7:06 a.m. in Paris. That's where we are. Pretty amazing stuff. Okay. All right, so it is 9 a.m. Of course, the room is not ready yet. That was amateur hour on my part to expect it to be. I asked the concierge, who was lovely, for a bakery recommendation, and there's one supposedly right around here. So that is a mission. It is technically like in the middle of the night, my time from where I just flew from, but I'm actually feeling incredibly awake. And I just think it's so cute. Like, everyone right now is just like going about like their normal like morning routine, obviously in Paris. But for me, this is a completely new experience. I truly am feeling so blessed and very grateful, and I know I look like incredibly insane. You never look your best after coming off a flight, but I'm just enjoying the moment. I do want to talk about the battery life. Okay, so at this point in the video, I'm actually technically like halfway through the day, but the day actually reset because of the time zone differences. So I topped off the phone on the airplane, got it back to 100%, and now the battery's restarting. And I actually think that battery is going to be one of the most important things to pay attention to in this video. So pay attention to like the little percentages, and then at the end of the video, I'm gonna give an actual like nuanced take on how the battery performed in this crazy day. Also, I wanted to wait until we got to Paris to really extensively talk about the video. And let me just tell you, dude, the video on this phone is exceptional. I still think that iPhone has the best video quality, and there are some new features this year. They've improved the zoom in ability between the different lenses to be more fluid. I still think that you can sometimes tell the difference between multiple lenses, so I feel like next year they can smooth that out even more. Similarly, cinematic mode still kind of feels like a gimmick to me. Like, I would have to kind of force myself to come up with a scenario to make it worthwhile, but just regular standard video is still great. Selfie video is also great, and the new active mode stabilization has definitely helped, especially with running shots. And in this next clip, I just was going through it apparently with holding the phone steady, like I had zero ability to do so, but I still think that the shot came out really usable. It is 11:24 a.m. The phone is at 13%, so it's already almost dead. I've been using it for navigation, movies, videos, texting, all of the things. Data roaming is on. Definitely not light use. I'm actually going to take a nap now because we're going out later tonight. I'm actually really excited for you to see what we're doing later, and so I want to make sure I'm well rested for it. Software and iOS 16 is kind of the magic behind all the stuff that I really love on this phone. The custom wallpapers are awesome. I love the smooth animations, and even the small things like getting an iMessage and then having it be unread again. That's a feature that has really helped me remember to reply back to people. There definitely were some software bugs and issues with this phone when it launched, like the copy pasting, which was insane, and also some stabilization issues, but both were fixed in the September 23rd update. I think the biggest area that there's been a software change is actually with Dynamic Island, obviously, because it's playing with this brand new piece of hardware. And let me just tell you, I think Dynamic Island has genuinely changed the way I use my phone. It's kind of this really weird between the notification center and also having multitasking on an iPhone. I feel for years, Android was so ahead in the multitasking arena, but now this is a way for Apple to have multitasking, but not split screen. And I think genuinely, I use my phone differently because of Dynamic Island. Now when I want to quickly change a song, I can. If I want to quickly see where I'm going, I can also do that. But I also feel if it disappeared tomorrow, I would probably just get used to not having it again. It is now significantly later. It is 9:46. This is the outfit. We're going to a show actually that starts at 11 p.m. So all in all, this travel day experience is I don't even know, many hours, but I'm so excited for the show. Also, I got a gift bag, which I'm so excited. I waited for you guys to open it. No way. Okay, so I always love from every trip to have a little trinket. This is gonna be the one from this trip. So wholesome of them. All right, I'm so excited about this and the show. We're about to go see a play.
Yes.
What is up?
It is the Moulin Rouge show, so this should be fun.
Yes, very excited. We're all taking a million things on our phones.
Right.
Yeah.
And the bong was hanging out the window.
No, I wasn't hanging out the window.
No, he
Low-key was.
I was shooting out the window. It's different.
Yeah.
The car was going and his hands are out the window like this, filming. One wrong move and it's...
Don't believe them.
Dude, I have it on video. Insert clip right now.
Right.
It's not real. It's fabricated.
Insert
so
clip.
Digital. CGI. CGI.
Again. Oh my God. All right, it is 4 a.m. We obviously stayed out very late. I got some water back at the hotel now. The phone is at 30%. And that is where this incredibly long day is going to end. I'm gonna throw it back to Studio Jacklyn to give you my final take on the device. All right, so this phone in general was shockingly efficient on this trip. I put this phone through an incredibly stressful day of video, photo, navigation, watching content, music, texting, calling, all of the things, setting up the international phone plan, everything. And it handled it really well, with ease. But the phone did die many times, 2 or 3 times throughout the stay. And so my overall take on the battery is that it's good, not great. And my normal, everyday, mundane day in the life, it does last me for most of the day, if not all of the day. But if I am pushing it on a travel day or with taking a lot of videos or footage just in a normal day, I do find that it does need to be topped up a little bit. And so I think that if you're looking for a medium-sized phone with a great display and reliable performance and fun features, this is definitely the one. And if you like fun and reliability, then I think that you would love Nebula and CuriosityStream, 2 of my favorite streaming platforms. Nebula is a streaming service run by me and a bunch of other talented creators, and we actually just got nominated for a Streamy Award this year. Crazy. On Nebula, I post ad-free versions of these videos, and then I also post companion content. So for example, I just posted an iPhone 14 Pro dedicated video test on there, and the next video I'm planning to make is an exclusive Q&A. The best way to get access to Nebula is actually through a bundle that we have with CuriosityStream, which is another amazing independent streaming service content, and the bundle is less than $15 a year. CuriosityStream has some of the most educational, entertaining, and informative content. Right now I'm watching a series on there called Oddly Satisfying Science, and you probably don't know this, but I'm obsessed with science, and I also love satisfying things. So this checks both of my boxes, and I'm really loving it so far, I like all of their other titles. If you want to sign up for CuriosityStream, make yourself a little bit smarter, and also get a bunch of exclusive content from me and a bunch of other creators on Nebula, I'll leave the link below, and you can also just go to curiositystream.com/NBT. Thank you so much genuinely for supporting me in a million different ways. I so appreciate you, and I will catch you in the next review.